Blessings, love and light, positive energy to all. Thank you so much for joining me in my sacred space. Today I'll be doing a reading using the Cosma Visions Oracle deck. This is a lovely deck. Just look at that box. I just love everything about this deck. And we'll be using the Celtic cross spread, which is a very classic tarot spread. Now, even though this is an oracle deck, because of the way it has been structured, it is very versatile and you can use a lot of common tarot spreads with this deck, and really the results and what the messages you receive from the universe is just amazing. All right, so regardless of when you're watching this video, whether it's the same day I posted it, a month later, a year later, if you feel as if you've been drawn to this video, if you feel as if there are messages meant for you, then please see this as a message meant to you from the divine. I believe that, let's not look at the time on the clock and when something was posted or said, but let's look at that cosmic time and believing that you're in this space right now because this is where you're supposed to be and these are the messages you're supposed to receive. All right, so once again, here are the messages from you. And just letting you know what I did while the camera's off, because I was a bit concerned with actually laying out the cards and all of it being captured within the frame, I shuffled the cards and I laid them out exactly according to the spread. So if you look here, you'll see it's numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4 to the side, 5 and 6 top and bottom, 7, 8, 9, 10 coming from bottom to top. I actually laid it out in this very specific order. I just did it off camera because I wanted to make sure that everything fit into the frame. So now I'm just going to read a little bit about the Celtic cross in case this is the first time you're hearing of this spread. Just so you have a little background information. So it says here, and I'm bringing it to the camera so you can read it along with me. This is one of the classic tarot spreads and is very popular because it's simple yet very thorough. This spread is comprised of 2 parts, the cross or circle and the staff. Below you will find one way to interpret this particular spread, though there are many ways to read the Celtic cross. And then these are how you can arrange the cards. I'm trying to bring that in view in case you have your own tarot or oracle cards and you want to try this spread on your own. So today, like it said, there are several different ways to use the Celtic cross spread, but the way we'll be interpreting it is the first card, you in this moment, 2, your challenge, 3, the past, 4, the future, 5, your current goals, 6, your subconscious self, 7, advice for yourself, 8, external influences impacting you, 9, your hopes and fears, and 10, what happens in the end. So this is going to be a very, very long reading today. So please bear with me, but I believe it'll be worth it. So we're looking at the first card, number 1, which is this card here. And I haven't looked at the cards, so I don't know what any of these cards are. And this is the Weaver. So with the Cosma Visions Oracle deck, like I said, it isn't a tarot deck, but it's very much set up like that, in that it does have cards set up as if they were major arcana cards, then they are suits, and then there are also cards that are set up as if they're court cards that come at the end of the deck. So the Weaver is one of these cards that actually appears at the end as if it is a court card. So it says the Weaver. Here we go. All right. So let's look at what it says about the Weaver. It's the mirror card to the Page of Swords. That's very interesting. So intentional manifesting future. I'm trying to hold both the book and the card in the frame. Here, I think I got it there. Knees pressed into the snow, a winged woman weaves glistening threads into her loom. As she works magic with her hands, the threads whip around in elegant ribbons in the cold winter air. The Weaver is a master storyteller and uses the power of the mind to craft tales and stories that captivate even the least interested audiences. The Weaver designs intricate tales that spin together into beautiful dances. When this card appears, it indicates that now is a good time to begin developing what you hope to manifest in the near future. The Weaver can represent a powerful mind, one that is inspiring and extraordinary. Remember to be thoughtful with what you hope to achieve. A little exaggerating makes a story sing, but be careful not to weave a tale too hard to maintain. Wow, this is very interesting. And this is you in this moment. So in this moment, you may be the weaver. You may be weaving a tale, and you may be adding just a bit of fluff. Just a little bit of to make that story sing, to sell that thing that you need to sell, whether it's yourself in the world of business, or perhaps presenting how crafty or how good you are at crafting certain items, or it could even be in a relationship. It could even be you presenting yourself as having more to offer, not that you're lying, but things that you intend to work on, things that will be true maybe 2 weeks from now, but may not be 100% you in this moment. You might be crafting these tales and creating these scenarios for yourself that present yourself in the most flattering of lights right now, because there's a bit of ambition in you, right? There's something that you want. There's something in your sights that you've kind of set your mind to saying, this is what I would like to come forth. And you're trying to manifest your own dreams, and nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with going out there and trying our best to accomplish the dreams that we have set to accomplish for ourselves. So right now, in the position of the weaver, this is your moment. You're weaving a tale. You're weaving the story that you want the world to believe of you. And it seems as if you're in control of the story. Because look at her. Look at this woman in the snow. And look at the attention to detail. She's focused. Look at that focus expression on what they're doing. So it's not an easy task that you're setting to do. You have to focus in order to make sure that what you're weaving is actually what you want it to be. That what you want persons to perceive of you is actually how they perceive you. You have to put effort into this. This is not an easy walk for you. And she's in the cold, The cold isn't necessarily the most comfortable place to be. And look how she's dressed. She's wearing arm sleeve. What does that say about her? Maybe she's adapted to the cold. Maybe she's adapted to maybe not the easiest or the most comfortable of environments. But this is your home. This has been a home you've made for yourself. So maybe you're in a situation that others might think is a bit uncomfortable to be in. But you have been through it all. You've been through the coldness. You've been outside walking and kneeling down in the cold for quite a while. So this isn't new territory for you. You know how to survive, and you're going to do what is necessary to survive. And that's what you're doing right now. So you're in the moment of the weaver, and you're weaving. All right. So that's our first card. And I'm going to place this face up so we can see that. We looked at that. And then we're going to choose our second card. So 2 here. And the second card is the 7 of Embers. So like I said, there are different suits in this deck. So there are trees, there are birds, there are lotuses, and there are embers. So we're going for the 7th of Embers. So the 7th of Embers, and look at that. That's a gorgeous work of art. All right, so it's a mirror card for the 7 of Wands. All right, so self-preservation, defense. A luminous grimoire sits atop a rock in the center of the magma. Seemingly unaffected by the 7 towering flames, it's flipped open to a page on an old protection spell. As you focus your eyes, a phoenix of fire bursts out of the book and into the swirling sky. And sorry, I'm just going to look back. This is your challenge. So we're reading about your challenge. So we have this bird just bursting into the sky. The self-preservation of the Book of the Phoenix is a uniquely magical thing. It has existed long before time, and through its defense was likely persevere unscathed through many challenging times to come. In this card, if this card shows itself in a reading, it's time to use your wits to protect and defend yourself. You may be surrounded by conflicting opinions and external forces trying to bring you down, but remember that you have all the resources you need to persevere. So this is telling you about conflict. This is telling you that you might be surrounded with conflicting opinions and external forces that are trying to bring you down. This is the challenge card. This is the challenge card. This is telling you of the challenges that you are going to be facing and that they are not going to be easy. However, what's happening in this? Is this Phoenix laying down? Is this Phoenix like, oh no, this task is too hard at hand, too much negativity, I'm gonna crawl on the rock? No, that's not what's happening here. This Phoenix is a uniquely magical thing that's bursting forth. It's literally bursting out of the pages of a book, of an old protection spell. So there's something in your life that grants you protection. And this is where your strength will come from. So find that part. When you're facing this challenge, find that part of your life, whether it's your mind, a special place in your mind, a special place in your home, a special place with a loved one. Find that area that you're protected. It could even be a physical object. It could be the Bible. It could be your crystals. It could be some sage. Just find that thing that offers you protection and hold on to that thing. Hold on to that and hold on to your being. And remind yourself that you are like the Phoenix. It doesn't matter what is surrounding you. It doesn't matter the negative. It doesn't matter who's trying to bring you down. You will rise above. And that's what this card is reminding you. Yes, there are people that are trying to bring you down, but you are a Phoenix. You gonna rise. All right? So just remember, you are going to rise. And remember, you have the strength because you've been through it all, remember? Out there in the cold, in short sleeves. Because you were the weaver in this moment, right? And the challenge, the people that are trying to bring you down, you are the Phoenix. You will rise once you surround yourself with that which protects you. And the third card is the past. Okay, so we're going to take a journey now, looking back. And we see the Crow. So the Crow is one of those cards from the Major. What would come as the Major in this deck? So it's 1, the Crow. The Crow, mirror card, the Magician. All right. So this would usually be the Magician in the traditional tarot deck. Force of creation, manifestation. As if from nothing, the Crow materializes. Emerald green ribbons of light shimmer around the Crow as it carries death away on its back. The Crow flies with certainty, and it understands there is an appropriate direction to all things. That which comes must eventually go. While the Crow may seem small, it is the Magician, manifesting a strong current of energy from within. The Crow teaches us how to change energy into a force of creation. We can learn great things from the Crow, but even greater things from ourselves. If you can will it, it can happen. You have called upon the Crow to manifest boundless creative energy. Let it fill you and then exhale it back into the universe. When there is something in your life that you want, mediate it. If it doesn't already exist, create it. You will find that you naturally gravitate towards the paths that will get you there. So this is reminding you, 1, the Crow carries death on its back. I think that's a powerful, powerful thing. And usually when we talk about death, we talk about this idea of transformation. So in your past, there may have been a lot of changes. Where you were then is not necessarily where you are now. However, there was an understanding that there was a direction to all things in the past. So things may not have been the easiest, right? Things may not have always gone the direction you wanted, but all things had a direction. There was a purpose. There was a divine meaning, as cynical as it might seem for some of the stuff you went through, to everything that you went through, right? As above, so below. Whatever you went through, there was meaning to it. Meaning you may not have sense back then. Meaning you still might not understand. But this card is letting you know there was meaning to what you walked through. There was meaning to the fire. There was meaning to the cold. There was meaning to the darkness. There was meaning to the discomfort. Okay? It wasn't for no reason. This card is reminding you, keep the faith. All right? Because without even realizing it, you were a magician. You were able to make things happen. You were able to create your own destiny, your own reality, your present now. you were able to create. The person you are in this moment, the weaver, you were able to create that regardless of all the things that were slapping you down. And this card is reminding you of your own magic. This card is saying, look back in the past, look at what you did. You did it. No one else did it. You did it. You are magic. Okay? That is the message the crow has from you from the past. You are magic. So remember nothing else. Remember that. And the fourth card representing the future, which is this card here. And that is the vessel, So this is another card from the major arcana in this deck. And just look at that. That's such an interesting, art. So it's a mirror card to the devil. So this is a very interesting mirror card to the devil, I think. I'm going to zoom in closer for you to see that there's a little bit of almost like a face on the top of that vessel. Very, very interesting devil card. So complexities, materialism. The glow of a peculiar vessel draws you in like a familiar embrace from a partner. You feel a radiating energy and edge closer towards it. It whistles a seductive sound and you become fixated. All you can focus on is the vessel as it urges you to open it. Ignore the inscriptions on the body, remove the lid, and everything around you goes dark. Whoa. The most beautiful vessel can sometimes contain the most tragic stories. As humans, we have all problems that we don't show on the surface. We fill ourselves with things that distract us from reality. The vessel, much like a mask, it hides what is truly underneath. If this card has shown up, it's time to rein in your demons. Don't let the materialism, addictions, and obsessions of this world cloud your brilliant light. It can be all too easy to get wrapped up in success that you start to lose touch with your soul. Even when the terrible is swallowing you whole, there is still a light found in others. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. So remember, this is for the future card. So this is almost letting you know you are about to succeed. But when you get to that future that's all shiny, that you're chasing, that you're creating, right? When you use all of the wisdom and you persevere and you go and achieve all the things that you have set out for yourselves, do not be wrapped up in materialism. This card is reminding you, remember your purpose, remember your soul, remember yourself, remember what's important to you, remember who's important to you. Is it money? Is it jewelry? What secret what secret obsessions are collections do you gather, material things do you gather in this earthly world that are not in sync with who you are on a spiritual level? And it can be simple things. It can be scarves. It can be shoes. It can be video games. What are you gathering and collecting that you don't need to, that is filling your soul with nothing but hollowness, numbness, and not adding any real value to it? So in your future, when you do succeed, when you are able to fill yourself with material items, make sure that you're truly succeeding on more than just a material and financial level. Make sure that you are not measuring your success by the dollars in the bank or what you can buy with them. This is reminding you that when you succeed at your financial goals, do not get wrapped up so much in them that you feel at your spiritual, mental, and emotional goals. So this is a very, very powerful reminder for our future. The next card, 5, is current goals. So for our current goals, we have the entertainer. And this, again, is one of the court cards. So the entertainer. Just take a look. The entertainer. Skillful, amusing, pleasing. Mirror card, Knight of Pentacles. A strange man found dressed in a colorful magician's garb juggles 3 enormous strawberries in the air. The entertainer is always looking for the next crowd to please, no matter what. No matter if it ends up making himself into a fool. He jumps from party to party, ready to impress the next group of onlookers. He knows many traits, but when it comes to an emotional connection, he can easily fumble. The entertainer is a conundrum of a character. He has acquired an audience from his notable skills and successes, but has grown too dependent on these traits to imbue meaning into his life. He measures value based on what there is to gain rather than the inherent beauty. In a reading, the entertainer can be good when inquiring on fame and success, but in emotional or spiritual arenas, the entertainer will falter. When it comes to matters of the heart, they can freeze up. So these are your current goals. And it's interesting because, our first card where it asked where you were in the moment was the Weaver. The Weaver was actually where it began. You spinning these tales to present yourself in the most appealing fashion possible. And now your current goals are that you're an entertainer. You're trying to please everyone. You're trying to please everyone. See all the right things, do all the right things, grab everyone's attention. But guess what? Sometimes it makes a fool of you. Stop it. Don't make a fool of yourself trying to please everyone. Stop it. Don't try to grasp everything financially. Don't try to achieve every financial goal there is. There are spiritual goals. There are emotional goals. There are romantic goals. There are mental goals, knowledge goals. Try to aim for something beyond just the financial. Don't make a fool of yourself. That's what this card is telling you. Your current goals, it may be time to look at them and readjust them. It may be time to see if you are really achieving what you want to achieve or if you're just trying to please all the people around you, right? So be careful. And now we're going to the 6th card, your subconscious self. This is very interesting. What is my subconscious self? 10 of Birds. So 10 of Birds. Mirror card, 10 of Swords. So difficult ending, betrayal. Ooh, subconscious self. Arriving at the scene too late, you find the carcasses of a calf. So these are the carcasses of a calf right there. You made it this far, though all of the mental exhaustion You made it this far through all the mental exhaustion only to be met with complete loss. Picked apart by vultures, nothing is left of the calf but bones. Unfortunately, not all endings are joyful. Sometimes in the end, we are met with sadness. Let it be brief and let it be known. We are at the end of a chapter and you have had hope for a resolution that would leave you better off. But here it is not the case. This card shows when we are met with difficult endings. It often speaks of betrayal, deception, and something being wrongfully terminated. This ending was out of your control, so it's important to understand the impact of it, but not to dwell on it. If you spend too long picking apart the reasons why it went south, it will eat you alive. Appreciate that it existed at all and move onward into your next chapter. So this is very, very deep for our subconscious. There was betrayal that happened in our subconscious. There was something bad that happened. There is something horrible that we are not letting go of. We may have trauma, unprocessed trauma in our lives. For me, this is very true. So this card speaks really strongly to me. We have trauma in our life that we are picking apart. And we're trying to figure out, why did it happen? How could it have gone differently? Why did it go the way that it went? How? Why? Where? When? It's going to drive us crazy. We have to let it go. We have to accept that bad things happen and we have to move on. As That's such a simple statement. Accept bad things happen and move on. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna take a lot of oracle and tarot readings, a lot of therapy. It's gonna take a lot. We're gonna fall on a lot getting over the trauma of our past. It's going to be really difficult, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But the first step is letting go. Stop trying to pick apart that horrible experience or horrible experiences. Stop trying to figure out why things went so badly. Stop trying to figure out why they betrayed you, why they lied, why they're still lying now. Let it go. And if you have to let them go as well, let them go. If you have to cut ties to really start to heal on a subconscious level, bye-bye. See you. Sorry, it's all about my mental health. Got to go. I got to go. All right. So now we're looking at the 7th card, which is advice for yourself. Oh, good. Finally. Let's see what they have to tell us now. Soulmates. Wow, this is our advice card. I want to hear. I love soulmates. I believe in soulmates. Anything with soulmates is just great. All right. So here we go. It's one of the major arcana cards. So mirror card, the lovers. So this is our advice card. Yes. Duality, connection. In a bright flash, your soulmates wrap around you in a cosmic embrace. In this moment, you feel safe and loved. We travel through time with these souls, and each one changes us into who we are meant to become. Some challenge us and others lift us up when we are on the edge of the light. Through them, you feel absolute love. Throughout many lives, our soulmates build us into who we are meant to be. Like a song on repeat, we encounter the same souls over and over again. When this card shows up, it asks us to take pause, reflect, and appreciate the idea of this immortal connection. Open up to others, show them the real you, and your deep connections will be wonderful. Be vulnerable, be content, be okay with being alone and learning about yourself. When you do this, you will find your relationships with others. You'll find that your relationships with others will only grow stronger, and when you do encounter a soulmate, the spark will be unmistakable. This is such a beautiful advice card. I'm so happy we got this as an advice card. Self-love, guys. Love yourself. Love yourself first and foremost. And then be vulnerable. We just talked about being betrayed in the past. And that really hurt. I mean, we have a lot of pain that we're carrying. We're trying so hard. We're here weaving up stories. You know what I mean? We're here being the entertainer, trying to keep everybody happy. Meanwhile, trying not to be led astray by material things. Like, there's so much going on. But we need to open our hearts. We need to be vulnerable. We need to love. We need to have gratitude. And that is so powerful. Every day, get up and thank your God, your Orisha, your spirit guide, your spirit animal, whoever, wherever that you pray to, meditate with, whatever. Give them thanks. Share that gratitude. Say, yes, I'm so grateful you're here. I'm so thankful you got me. Just send that love in the universe. Be kind to others. Be kind to yourself. Soulmates, guys. This is our advice card. I love this card so much. I love this card. Okay. All right. So, next card. 8 external influences impacting you. Oh, the spirit's playing. These are the external influences impacting us. So, mirror card, the Chariot. Look at this card. Wow. That's a lot of impact there. Rest. Feeling at home. The spirit plane pulses with a warm magic that feels like home. The light here is a greenish hue, but feels warmer and brighter than anything felt on earth. The air is sweet and tranquil, Orbs of light float by you. They are souls, a constant melody seems to follow behind each one. As a soul in the spirit plane, there is no conflict or sadness. Life here is blissful, but without the bad, and it is difficult to discern the good. When the spirit plane shows up in a reading, take it as a suggestion for a meditative rest and reflection. Appreciate what skills you have acquired and who you have become already at this point in your life. Know that you are a remarkable being and let it rejuvenate your weary soul. Then take those feelings and that internal power that you have acquired and hold on tight, because this next chapter is only just beginning. This is a card about becoming who you are and feeling at home with yourself and your surroundings. It can be worrisome for those who fear stillness, but stillness is sometimes the best move to make. All right, so this is really interesting because it talks about stillness. So the external forces, the thing that's going to knock us off our rocket at this point, is ourselves, right? So we have to be careful of that pull back and forth. We have to be careful of our indecisive mind. We have to be careful of not receiving the messages that are meant to us from the universe. We have to be careful of letting our subconscious rip away at us and affect our consciousness. So how are we sleeping? How are you sleeping? Are you sleeping well? Are you drinking that tea that you should drink that helps you sleep a little bit better? Or are you eating, snacks and chips right before bedtime that makes it harder for you to fall asleep? What are you doing? What are you doing to protect yourself? What are you doing to ensure that you are where you're supposed to be and you are your best self and you are at your best? So look in and see that you are doing the best of what you can do. And now 2 more cards to go. 9, your hopes and fears. 10 of Lotus. Wow, that's a gorgeous card. These cards are so gorgeous. I've never been happier to pull so many cards when doing a reading. I just love this artwork, guys. So like I said, the Lotus is one of the suits. So the 10 of Lotus is the mirror card for the 10 of Chalices, or the 10 of Cups. So appreciation, beauty, peace. At last, a time of peace. Birds sing as they fly through the cool spring air, and the sunrise bursts into the sky behind the green hills. The lotuses bloom in unison, surely influenced by the burbling wellspring. All along, it was the turmoil of the previous cards, but it has also brought out the beauty, a true lesson in the duality of water. This card is a symbol of reflection, appreciation, and bliss. It does not ask of you other than to experience life as it was truly meant to be, uninhibited by clouds, emotions, and completely absorbed in the beauty ahead. You have journeyed far and experienced a wide range of emotions, some of which have left you feeling uneasy. Let yourself get lost in the tranquility of right here and now, a perfect moment of calm, and one that is meant to be enjoyed and cherished. So, you've reached this point. And again, when it comes to this idea of what fear is, it's almost as if the cards are telling us that fear is you. Fear is within yourself. Fear is fear itself. Because there is calm surrounding you. Because if you look, look at the lotuses, look at the river or a lake that they're in. The lilies, the lotuses blooming. The sun in the background, the clouds. There is beauty all around you. It is for you to see it. It is for you to accept it. It's for you to believe it. It's for you to let this blossom in your life rather than be fearful, doubtful, scared, and let yourself sink. Sink. Let your subconscious sink because of that past betrayal, that past hurt, the things that angered you. And our final card, what happens in the end? Ooh, 10. Seven of Lotuses. What happens in the end? Let it be good, let it be good, let it be good. It can always be good. That's the beauty of tarot oracle readings, by the way. You can always, you know, amend your fate. So the Seven of Lotuses is a mirror card to the Seven of Chalices or Seven of Cups. Onto the water, a new world unfolds. Life has adapted and now various fish and amphibians thrive in the recent floods, opening up the new opportunities for growth. It is a symbol of duality, two worlds existing simultaneously. For many, the new rush of water is welcome. For others, it may be an opportunity to adapt. You find yourself immersed in a wonderful new world. The magic that flows through the teal waters is alluring and somewhat intoxicating. This card shows that when you have been living in two worlds as a way of not choosing either, you may be feeling overwhelmed by decisions and instead have choices to retreat into another daydream. It's healthy to fantasize having two lives, but if too much time is spent in both, you will wake up feeling not part of either. Feel fully in it. Get caught up in the wonder of one. Wow. I don't know about you guys, but this is so applicable for me, because there are definitely two lives in which I exist in. And it is very hard sometimes where you have more than one passion and you have more than one talent. And you excel at two things that can be very different to one another. And you more or less have a decision as to where, and you kind of daydream, you know, you see how both lives can really impact you. But one is always riskier than the other. But the riskier one is always the one that you kind of want a little bit more in your heart. And the other one, you know, it's not as risky, but somehow you don't feel as drawn to it. So this is how it's going to end for us. So really, it's going to end with us making a choice. What are you going to choose? The riskier path that might be a bit more fulfilling, or the safer path? It could still make us happy, but all right. So this has given us a lot to think of. These are the cards that have not been turned over, all spread out. And Soulmate's card will be my favorite card. I hope you enjoyed this reading. And thank you so much for joining me in my sacred space. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you have any questions about any of the cards, if you would have liked me to go in depth on any of the cards, because I tried to keep my reading on each card short because I knew I had 10 cards to go through and I didn't want the video to be that long. But if you wanted a more in-depth reading on any card, if any card in particular called out to you and you want to hear more about that card or more about how that card speaks in your specific life, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. I'll be more than happy to give more in-depth readings on any or all of the cards. So let me know. And as always, thank you so much for joining me in my secret space. Love and light. Blessings.